Good morning, students. I hope that all of you are well and in good health. And after the vacation, we are restarting our syllabus of political science. Dear students, we have already started chapter rights in the Indian Constitution. In this chapter, first of all, I just want you to recall something. कुछ चीज़ें आपको वापस से याद रखनी है जब हमने ये चैप्टर शुरू किया था. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव डन द टॉपिक एवोल्यूशन ऑफ राइट्स. यानी सीधी सी बात है, अधिकार हमारे पास कहाँ से आए, फ्रॉम वेयर वी गॉट राइट्स. इन दैट क्लास आई टोल्ड यू दैट राइट्स आर द कंडीशंस ऑफ लाइफ which are very necessary for all round development of a human being. Although in French Revolution, rights were demanded by the people, but in 1789 it was the first time when America have written a constitution and a Bill of Rights was being added in that. In these Bill of Rights, freedom of speech, press and religion, right to assemble, and protection against unreasonable restrictions was being added. On 10 December 1948, UN General Assembly have also added human rights to the people, and that is why 10 December is being celebrated as Human Rights Day. After that, we had done the topic that why do we need rights. In that topic, you come to know that right shapes human personality, and democracy is dependent entirely on rights. Rights are a check on the arbitrary power of the government. They are check on the certain action of private citizen and organization as well as you know that rights are enforceable by the court. Our next topic was the difference between ordinary right and fundamental right. The basic difference between ordinary right and fundamental right is that fundamental rights are being obligations. You can go to court to get your fundamental rights, but not for the ordinary rights. Dear students, in that series we have done right to equality. In right to equality, I taught you about equality before the law, prohibition of discrimination on any basis, equality of opportunity in the matter of public employment, as well as you know that there is abolition of untouchability in our country. The second right which we have done was right to freedom. In that topic, you come to know about the freedom of speech and expression, freedom of assembly, freedom to form associations and union, right to move freely throughout the territory of India, right to reside and settle in any part of India, right to practice any profession or carry on any occupation, trade and business. And one new right was also added, and this was right to information. Dear students, the next topic was right to education. You all know that the right to education bill was passed by the Parliament in August 2009. It seeks to provide free and compulsory education to all from the age 6 to 14 years. We have completed the topic right to life and personal liberty. You all know that Article 21 declares that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by the law. यानी बिना कानून की प्रोसीजर फॉलो किए किसी भी व्यक्ति को अरेस्ट नहीं किया जा सकता. Except that we have done some other topics also. यानी हमने टॉपिक किए थे राइट ऑफ अ पर्सन, arrested under ordinary circumstances. And the last topic was right of a person accused of any offense. यानी अगर कोई व्यक्ति जेल में भी होता है तो उसके पास भी कुछ अधिकार होते हैं. The last topic was preventive detention, जिसमें आपको पता चला था कि प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन के नाम पर भी, यानी अगर कोई व्यक्ति ने कोई गुनाह नहीं किया, कोई काम नहीं किया, तब भी उसे पकड़ा जा सकता है अगर किसी वजह से ये लगे कि ये व्यक्ति अगर बाहर रहा तो किसी भी तरह का लॉ एंड ऑर्डर खराब होने की आशंका है. और today's topic is restriction on rights. So in this topic, restrictions of rights, there are certain restrictions on rights. You all know that rights are not absolute. Rights are not and could not be absolute. State is the custodian of the general public interest. Therefore, it may make laws putting the restriction on our rights. हमें जितने भी अधिकार मिलते हैं वो असीमित नहीं हैं. जो स्टेट है, सरकारें हैं, वो हमारे अधिकारों के ऊपर किसी भी तरह के लॉज बनाकर या कुछ भी करके हमारे अधिकारों को रोक सकती है. अभी कुछ समय पहले आपने देखा होगा लॉकडाउन हुआ, सो योर राइट टू मूव फ्रीली जो है इट वॉज बीन स्टॉप्ड. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स विच द गवर्नमेंट कैन डू एंड पुट रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन राइट्स. The word reasonable has been inserted before the restrictions in the various provisions. It is for the court to decide if a restriction is reasonable or not. तो मैंने आपको बताया कि अधिकारों पर कुछ restrictions भी लगाई जा सकती हैं और वो reasonable होनी चाहिए, यानी unreasonable restrictions should not be imposed. और जो reasonable है it will be decided by the court. Rights are effective only when the people are conscious of their rights and duties. It is our duty to create traditions which no government will dare to defy. So, dear students, there are certain restrictions on rights. Our next topic is right against exploitation. यानी अगर एक person exploited हो रहा है तो क्या उसके पास भी कुछ राइट्स हैं? क्या उसके भी कुछ अधिकार होते हैं? ऑफ कोर्स यस. द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इंक्लूड टू मेन डिक्लेरेशन अगेंस्ट द एक्सप्लॉयटेशन. फर्स्ट इज प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ ट्रैफिकिंग इन ह्यूमन बींग्स एंड फोर्स्ड लेबर. जो ह्यूमन बींग हैं, जो मनुष्य हैं, उनको खरीदा या बेचा नहीं जा सकता. नाउ you can understand that why this was needed by the government. So, Article 23 prohibits trafficking in human beings and the begar and other similar forms of forced labor. Traffic in human being means dealing in men and women like goods, such as selling, letting or otherwise disposing of them. It would include traffic in women and girls for immoral purpose. You all know that in our country there are lakhs and lakhs of girls and women which are being used for immoral purpose. बेगार क्या होता है? फोर्स्ड लेबर, यानी ज़बरदस्ती किसी से काम कराना. बेगार और फोर्स्ड लेबर मीन्स मेकिंग अ person work against his will and then not to pay him any wages. You all know that in the old Panchayati Raj system, people were being sold and they were compelled to do begar. Begar मतलब बिना पैसा लिए काम करना. They were compelled to do begar for the landlords etc. But now it is banned. Forced labor is banned by the Supreme Court. Next is prohibition of employment of children in factories. Dear students, all of you know it very well that children cannot be appointed in the factory. No child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or mine, nor shall such a child be engaged in any hazardous employment. 18 साल से कम उम्र के बच्चों को किसी भी ऐसे काम में नहीं लगाया जा सकता जिससे उनके जीवन को खतरा हो. And these are the two rights against exploitation. The another right which we are going to start today is right to freedom of religion. आप सब जानते हैं इंडिया क्या है, एक सेक्युलर कंट्री है. भारत एक धर्मनिरपेक्ष देश है. And in this country we have freedom of religion. The preamble to the Constitution secures to all citizens liberty of belief, faith and worship. The objective is realized by following provision of the Constitution. There is first point, that is freedom of conscience and the free profession and propagation of religion. तीनों शब्दों पे ध्यान देंगे. We have freedom of conscience. हम अपने मन में अपनी श्रद्धा रख सकते हैं किसी भी धर्म के लिए. We have freedom of profess मतलब मानना. आप सरेआम किसी भी धर्म को मान सकते हैं. एंड प्रोपेगेशन मतलब प्रचार करना. आप जिस धर्म का चाहें उसका प्रचार भी कर सकते हैं. सो द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन गारंटीज टू एवरी पर्सन freedom of conscience and right to profess, practice and propagate the religion. The wearing and carrying of kirpan is included in the profession of Sikh religion, but restriction may be imposed by the state in the interest of morality, health and public order. तो ऑफ कोर्स आप सब जानते हैं सिखों में कुछ लोगों को कृपान रखते हैं कुछ लोग, और वो कृपान रखना उनके फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन का पार्ट माना गया है. मुस्लिम्स में आपने देखा होगा लोग गोल टोपी पहनते हैं. दैट इज़ द ऑल्सो द पार्ट ऑफ फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन. इसी तरह आप धार्मिक संस्कारों के नाम पर आज़ादी ले सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर स्टेट चाहे तो अंडर सर्टेन सर्कमस्टांसेस, बार बार मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि कुछ खास सर्कमस्टांसेस में स्टेट जो है वो क्या कर सकता है, लोगों की इस फ्रीडम पर भी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगा सकता है. So, restriction may be imposed by the state in the interest of morality, health and public order. Thus, no one can be allowed to hurt the religious feelings of any class of the citizen of India. This right doesn't prevent the state from making any law providing for the social reform or throwing upon the Hindu religion institution to all the sections of Hindus. Here, the Hindu religious institution include the institution of Sikh, Jain, Buddhist also. So, government may pass the legislation making it an offense to convert a person by the means of force, fraud, etc. तो जहाँ तक धर्म मानने का अधिकार है, हमारी सरकार किसी को भी बाध्य नहीं कर सकती कि लोग अपने धर्म को छोड़े, या लोग भी किसी को कंपेल नहीं कर सकते टू कन्वर्ट देयर रिलीजन कि उनके धर्म का बदलाव कर दें. नेक्स्ट इज फ्रीडम टू मैनेज द रिलीजियस अफेयर्स. हमें ना सिर्फ अपना धर्म मानने का अधिकार है बल्कि हमें अपने रिलीजियस अफेयर्स को भी फॉलो करने का राइट है. The Constitution guarantees the right to establish and to maintain the institution for religious and the charitable purpose. Every religion sect has the right to own and acquire movable and immovable property. आप सब जानते हैं जो विभिन्न धर्म क्षेत्र हैं उनके पास उनकी मूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी होती है, जैसे धन संपत्ति. They have their immovable properties also. अगर आप बहुत से टेम्पल्स को देखें, साउथ में देखें या कहीं भी, दे हैव देयर इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी. बहुत सारे रिलीजियस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो हैं वो अपने साथ साथ स्कूल्स चला रही होती हैं, हॉस्पिटल्स चला रही होती हैं. सो दे ऑल हैव दिस राइट्स एंड एक्सेट्रा. अगर आप कभी मंदिर जाएं तो यू विल फाइंड दैट देयर आर फिजियोथेरेपी सेंटर्स एंड सो ऑन. सो every institution have the right to run such things for the purpose of public. Equality of all religion. the constitution aims to establish a secular state. You all know it very well that India is a secular country. According to the Constitution of India, no one should be deprived of following his or her religion, and no one is compelled to change the religion, and that is why India is a secular country. A secular state is one which is not wedded or any particular religion, dogma or creed. It extends the equal treatment to all the religions. Thus, no tax shall be levied on it should not be levied, and the proceedings of which are meant for the maintenance of any particular religion. अगर आप जानते हो तो या हिस्ट्री में आपने पढ़ा हो, औरंगज़ेब के समय हिंदुओं से एक टैक्स लिया जाता था और उस टैक्स का नाम था जजिया. Jizya was a tax which was imposed only on Hindus. But now, in a secular country, no such treatment can be given to any people. Yeah, no one is compelled to follow the religion without his choice. So, this shows that India is a secular country and we have the freedom to profess and to follow any religion. No religion instructions shall be provided in any educational institution wholly maintained by the state funds. एक और बहुत बड़ी बात है कि वो सभी इंस्टीट्यूशन जो सरकारी फंड पर चलती हैं, यानी सरकारी स्कूल्स जो हैं, वहाँ पर किसी धर्म विशेष की शिक्षा नहीं दी जा सकती. You can see some special schools of different religion. There are Sikh schools, there are Muslim schools, there are Christian schools, and in those schools they can give education to their religion. But in the government school, no such education is given to the people, to the students. They are not compelled to participate in that, and even not. They just sing national song, they just sing national anthem. The prayers doesn't follow any religious practices. तो बच्चों, यहाँ तक का टॉपिक मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है that you all are able to get it. So we are going to begin with the another topic, and this is known as cultural and educational rights. अभी तक किसकी बात हो रही थी? धर्म की बात हो रही थी. But except that, we have some cultural and educational rights as well. You all know that India is a country in which there are different culture and religion are followed. People living in India speak different languages and use the different scripts. Hence, it was but natural that Constitution should have protected the cultural and educational rights of minorities. भारत विभिन्न धर्मों का देश है, विभिन्न भाषाओं का देश है, लोगों की बहुत सी परंपराएं हैं, and it is a multilingual country. You all know that in India we don't have only one national language. We have national languages. हमारे यहाँ राजकाज की भाषाएं हैं. हमारे यहाँ राष्ट्रीय भाषा नहीं है. हिंदी जो है वो कार्य की भाषा है. हिंदी राजभाषा है. ये राष्ट्रभाषा नहीं है. The people in different part of the country are allowed to follow the different languages, different religion and different culture. So in this series also we have certain rights. The first is right to conserve the language, script and culture. Article 29 gives to the minority a right to conserve that distinct language, script and culture. Such minority shall not be denied admission into the educational institution maintained or aided by the state on the grounds only on the religion, race or language. आप सब इस बात से परिचित हैं that in our country there are certain minorities also, and these minority people are also have the right to get admission in the educational institution, whether it is run by the private institution or it is run by the government. दे आर नॉट डिनाइड टू गेट द एडमिशन. किसी भी आधार पर उन्हें एडमिशन लेने से रोका नहीं जा सकता, सिर्फ इसलिए कि वो किसी माइनॉरिटी इंस्टीट्यूशन को बिलोंग करते हैं. अगर आप देखें तो वी हैव सिख स्कूल्स, सिखों के स्कूल होते हैं विच गिव एडमिशन ओनली टू द सिख, बट द अदर इंस्टीट्यूशंस कैन नॉट स्टॉप गिविंग एडमिशंस टू देम. As well as we have Christian schools, as well as we have Tamil schools, as well as we have Marathi schools, and so on. We have Bengali school. So they are run by the religious organizations, and they mostly prefer to give admission to the people of their own religion. But these kids, the kids of those religion, are not denied to get admission in any other institution. So this is our right to conserve the language and the script and culture. Next is right to establish the educational institution. बच्चों, मैंने आपको पिछले टॉपिक में बताया कि हमें एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन खोलने का अधिकार है. विभिन्न भाषा, धर्म और जाति के एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन हमारे कंट्री में हैं. Minority have the right to establish and administer the educational institution of their choice. In granting aid to the institution, the state shall not discriminate against any institution on the ground that it is under the management of a minority. But the right to administer cannot include right to maladminister. In a leading case, 1980, the Supreme Court held the state can certainly take regulatory measure to promote the efficiency and excellence of educational students. It can also issue the guidelines for ensuring the security of the services of the teachers or other employees of the institution. यानी अगर कोई धर्म विशेष अपने एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन खोलता भी है तो स्टेट के पास ये राइट होता है कि वो उनको एड दे, उनको मनी प्रोवाइड करे, सो दैट दीज माइनॉरिटी कैन ऑल्सो रन देयर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस. इफ़ यू सी in some area there are Hindu school also. There is a Hindu girls school near Jama Masjid. There are Bengali school, Raisina Bengali, at Mandir Marg, near Birla Mandir. There is Marathi school at Karol Bagh. And you know there are DAV schools which are being run by the Arya Samaj. So if they open such schools, so it is the duty of the state to provide some aid and facility to them. लेकिन बच्चों, प्रश्न ये उठता है कि हमें इतने सारे राइट्स तो मिल गए विच आर क्लियरली मैंशनड इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, लेकिन अगर किसी परिस्थिति में हमें ये अधिकार ना मिले तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? क्या इसके लिए कोई प्रोविज़न किया स्टेट ने? ऑफ कोर्स, स्टेट हैव मेड सम प्रोविजंस in the circumstances if we are not getting rights. So we have the right to constitutional remedies. कहते a mere declaration of fundamental rights is useless unless there is the means to handle them effectively. Article 32 guarantees the right to move to the Supreme Court for the enforcement of right conferred by Part 3 of the Constitution. मैंने शायद आपको पहले भी बताया था, Part 3 is the part of Indian Constitution in which fundamental rights are mentioned. So आर्टिकल 32 जो है, जो इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में मेंशन है, ये हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट्स को प्रोटेक्ट करता है. वी हैव सुप्रीम कोर्ट्स एंड वी हैव अदर कोर्ट्स विच प्रोटेक्ट दीज राइट्स. द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एम्पावर्स द हाई कोर्ट ऑल्सो टू इशू द वेरियस रिट्स or the orders for the enforcement of any of the rights. The Constitution empowers the Supreme Court and High Court to issue the following writs or orders. तो हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है वो क्या कर सकता है, वो कुछ रिट्स जारी कर सकता है, कुछ ऑर्डर जारी कर सकता है विच कैन बी यूज टू प्रोटेक्ट द राइट्स. एंड डियर स्टूडेंट्स, I want all of you to go through the topic, to go through the chapter properly and do the work. जो ये वाला टॉपिक है राइट टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रेमेडीज, दैट विल कंटिन्यू इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. आज हमने बहुत सारे राइट्स किए हैं, आपने बहुत सारे राइट्स को दोबारा से एक बार से देखा भी है. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू जस्ट रीड इट फ्रॉम योर बुक्स and do the assignment which was already given to you. I hope that most of you have already done that, and I'm giving only 2 questions from this area, from this chapter to you today only, and I hope that by our next class all of you will complete the work. Thank you very much.